Welcome to TuxReadyAussie. This is TuxReadyAussie. It is a little bit overdue, but I'm going to tell you some more stories. So the one story that I remember that I didn't get around to sharing the other story in walk time was the fact that we usually use a hands-free leash when we are working and going upstairs. He typically has the ability to walk in front of me. And with that, it could look like he is walking me, which he is not. He just is simply walking in front of me. He's still under my control. And with that, it felt like the person was calling me out. So even simple comments like that, basically, the person that says that, I still see them from time to time. I don't know if their opinion has changed, but it definitely did sound like they were not necessarily thinking very highly of my dog. Now, again, this was still within the first month of us adjusting to the new place. I realize that's not really a good full-on reason, but it is something to take into account. But yeah, going up the stairs, it would be nice if he's next to me, but sometimes, as long as he's not pulling me or anything, he is able to go in front of me and going upstairs. Sometimes he kind of lags behind me. TuxReadyAussie. Thank you. Good check. So that was that one story. And then the other story that I was going to share was it seems like people are under the impression that if a dog is wearing gear that labels them as a service animal, that they don't have to ask the two questions. So to some extent, people do put gear on their dog for the public to be aware of without having to tell them all the time. But at the same time, any dog can technically buy gear. They can write whatever they want on the gear. In fact, this, I guess, was an issue with Etsy, I guess, earlier this year or in recent history, to the point where it's a lot harder to buy gear that says service dog on it, which makes getting gear a little bit inaccessible. Now, one thing that's good is that the dog does not have to be labeled. And again, it's about the dog being task trained and the dog having decent manners in public. So again, it shouldn't really matter what the dog is wearing. But it also should not be assumed that just because the dog is labeled as such that it is one. So in the ADA, it does say that if it's very clear what the dog does, such as it's actively guiding someone who's blind, then you don't have to ask. But for most cases, just the general harness, vest, cape. Now, this is not to say that the general public needs to be questioning. This is for those gatekeepers that are seen in my skits, to be able to know who to ask. And pretty much they are allowed to ask every single handler that TuxReadyAussie, come on, good boy. Thank you. TuxReadyAussie. But anyways, so it wasn't just one restaurant; it was multiple. Now, and they did ask, like, come on, so it was like a few people that have said that. Now, of course, I've become a bit of a regular at some places, so they, I don't really remember how they acted the first go around. But at this point, people haven't really been asking me questions, the 2 questions, but again, that could be because they know me and my dog, or I don't know. Anyways, those are kind of the 2 stories that I kind of owe you. And then I feel like there was another story I wanted to tell you. I guess there's one that's currently in progress right now, in the sense I got invited to something, but it was at someone's apartment, and I guess their landlord said, was saying no animals or something. I'm still trying to figure out where the miscommunication thing is. Hey, thank you. But clearly there's some miscommunication about what is and isn't allowed as far as like service animals accompanying people. And this is covered under the FHA. Under the FHA, I can confirm that visitors are also covered under the FHA along with tenants. And hopefully I'll be able to do an updated video on that. And I just remember I meant to do some boot training with him. We got a trip coming up, and it's gonna be getting cold, so I just want to make sure that he's been pretty good with wearing his boots, or his shoes technically. But yeah, and we're getting some new gear soon, so it's just to have it as a backup. And yeah, I guess that's kind of the update. Not too much, and I guess we're nearing the break point in our walk. Maybe I'll think of something on the way back. Otherwise, this is TuxReadyAussie. I guess one thing that is kind of miffing me about the current story that I'm working through in my mind is that I guess they didn't think that the host and friends didn't think that like it's great that they kind of assumed that he would come to me, but I feel like some people with service animals, including myself, are able to go places for a certain amount of time without their service animals, and it feels kind of off that they didn't think that I could have still been able to attend without him. There's been a few things I've done without him since he's gotten adjusted to the place. I feel a bit better about him staying behind. Come on. About him staying behind. So it is one of those things that if it's a short trip, thank you. The short trip or whatever, I am able to have skills without him. In fact, that's one of the things that's suggested for handlers, is that they have tools in case the dog is sick or unable to attend to deal with their disability, because they are still living animals. But there's a non access issue story that I can tell. So there's with me. Hey. TuxReadyAussie. Good boy. TuxReadyAussie. Come on. Good. Good boy. Come on. TuxReadyAussie. Good boy. That deserves some treats. Yes. Pretty much I take him to a dog park every now and then. And one time I took him to the dog park, and there's a dog that thought my foot was a good thing to make contact with. I didn't actually get injured. I did end up on the ground because I lost balance. TuxReadyAussie was not really phased, which in some regards I'm actually happy about that he didn't get involved or protective, because that's actually a trait that is frowned upon, to have a service dog be protective of any way. Like, he did check on me, but he wasn't protective. In fact, he didn't get the dog anywhere away from me, but that's fine. Again, not injured, just got off balance when I was doing that thing. Because, come on, TuxReadyAussie. Thank you. I guess another story that I had to tell is, they are still animals. What is it, buddy? Come on, TuxReadyAussie. Leave it. Come on. Thank you. Figure it out. Almost. Thank you. And the reason why I got reminded of it is because there's people walking behind us, and that is something that we are kind of working on. Come on. With me. Come on. So there was a door that had, come on. Thank you. A door that had opened up across the way. TuxReadyAussie had gotten spooked, and I think it was heightened by the fact that there was someone walking behind us. Luckily, he's not as spooked by the door anymore. But at the same time, we haven't really walked by it as it opened. So that's still, luckily we don't pass by that door very often. I guess that's another story. That dogs are still animals, they can get spooked. And I'm bad at storytelling. So I guess I'm going to end this video here with saying, TuxReadyAussie, hi! As we educate business owners and dog owners, and those who may have an allergy or fear of dogs or other animals, to know their rights at the federal level in the United States. If we work together and become educated as a community, and we can protect people from being scammed when it comes to dogs and their rights federally.